So Phee Collier has been the best player in the WNBA this season. She absolutely has. And I think the MVP race is close purely because Age has played like 6 more games than Phee. But that's the only reason, in my opinion, it's close. I think Phee Collier is about to be robbed, completely robbed of an MVP. And a lot of people are going to talk about the 50, 40, 90 stuff. I don't really care that much about 50, 40, 90. Why? Because I don't think Phee Collier's season is defined by what percentage she shot in the last game of the season. Like, if Phee Collier she shot 4 of 6 from 3, I think. I'm just guessing off the top of my head. But, like, if she had a shot 2 of 6 and missed 2 more 3-pointers, or missed 2, or yeah, she missed 2 of the shots she took instead of making them, she isn't 50, 40, 90. And for me, that doesn't affect her MVP. But I was initially leaning towards, you know what, man, AJ might have taken it. You know, AJ balled out against Phee Collier in that last game. But I watched back. I definitely skim watched them. The 3 other times that the Lynx played the Aces, and Phee Collier destroyed them. She destroyed AJ Wilson 3 times this year. She absolutely destroyed AJ Wilson 3 times this year. And, like, I'm looking at this right here, and obviously this post from Megan Hall where she had, and I'm going to say this right now, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Do I think that her votes are crazy? Yes. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and if you have logic for your opinion, you can do dumb shit. Like, just like everybody knows who vote for Paige Bueckers, and the Paige fans are attacking them. There's no point. Just like if people knew who the 4th place vote for Asia was 2 years ago, and people are attacking somebody, Rebecca Lobo, because they think she was the 4th place voter. Almost certainly wasn't the 4th place voter. So I don't really. It makes no difference. Like she voted for Phee 3rd for MVP. She put 2 Sparks players on the All WNBA team. She had 3 of her All WNBA 2nd team didn't make the playoffs. Like, there were no Liberty players on either she had no Liberty players on either of her All WNBA teams. Like, for me, this was one of the worst ballots I've seen, but that's okay. Like, we're allowed to have different opinions. If I made my ballot, people would probably say it was one of the worst ballots ever. Like, my ballot would be, my MVP 1 through 5 would be Phee 1, Aja 2. I'll just do it off the top of my head. Phee 1, Aja 2, AT3, Alicia Gray 4, Kelsey 5. Like, actually, no, Kelsey 4, Alicia Gray 5. That would be my my top 5. That would be my top 5. And obviously they're my All-W first team. My All-W second team would be, I'd still put Stewie on the second team. I'd put Stewie on the second team, give a Liberty player a vote. I don't know about Sab. Anytime I watch Sab, other than that tear she went on for 5 or 6 games, I'm putting Stewie on that team over Sab. Kayla McBride, Jackie Young over Aaliyah. And then, I don't know, probably Aaliyah is going to be there. Did anyone else in the Mercury deserve to make it? Probably not. Did anyone else on the Liberty? Maybe Sab. Anyone else on the Fever? Aaliyah and Kelsey? No. 7 was Seattle. Give me Skylar. Or sorry, Neka. Give me Neka on that second team. And then, for me, I would go like Kelsey Plum, Sabrina, Skylar. All of these players I would have. But yeah, we know Paige is going to be on it. There's no way a player who won 9 games this season and missed as many games as Paige did should be on all WNBA NBA team. But at the end of the day, that's irrelevant. You might think my picks are idiotic. That's fine. And that's fine. Just like I don't agree with her picks, but I don't disagree with her right to pick, and I don't disagree with her expressing her opinion, because let's be completely honest here. These awards they're all narrative driven, because I watched back this season. I'm like, we are punishing Phee Collier for the Lynx being good. By that, I mean, like, the Lynx basically cemented the number 1 overall seed a month ago. And Phee has kind of gone through the motions for the last month. But we are not taking into account the fact that Phee Collier had one of the greatest starts, one of the greatest starts to a season ever. First 20 games of the season, she had one of the greatest first 20 games of the season ever, and was so good that her team didn't really need to win. But yet, we're rewarding Aja for not being one of the top 5 players in the WNBA until her team lost by 53 points, and then she just went on she played like an MVP. But like, for me, I'm just, if we're taking into account, only taking into account a certain amount of games, and I understand she averaged 23 points per game. But for me, my logic always is, when it comes to Aja, or when it comes to this, is like, we're talking about Aja towards the end of the year, and we're giving her the MVP based on that. But yeah, Caitlin Clark finished 4th last year, when after game 10, albeit I don't think Caitlin Clark played like an all-star the first 10 games. But for the last 30 games of last season, Caitlin Clark was the best player in the WNBA. For the last post-Olympic break, it was Caitlin and Phee. Like, Aja's team were really struggling until they went like a 7-game win streak down the season. Like, and in that win streak, Aja wasn't good. And a lot of that win streak, Aja wasn't good. So it's like, we punished Phee last year because Aja started off the season so well. And Phee ended the season as, of the two of them, by far the better. And then it flips this year. And the difference is Fee's on the 1 seed, who aren't particularly great without her, who are good without her, not particularly great without her. But yet now, because Phee doesn't end the season as well as Aja wins the MVP. But last year, Aja didn't play as well as Phee, and Aja was unanimous. Like, I was on Rosie's stream last night, and they were calling Phee the bridesmaid. Basically, like, you can't pretend she doesn't exist. The WNBA media pretend the only reason she gets hyped is because of quote-unquote proximity to whiteness. Like, we actually saw that from people media adjacent, claiming that Phee Collier's, popularity has nothing to do with her actual play. And the reality is she's the female Tim Duncan. She's the female Tim Duncan. She is the most fundamental player. I don't understand why people call Aja Tim Duncan. They just think boring Duncan. Aja's like Joel Embiid. Like, Aja's literally like if Joel Embiid never missed games. And that's not a knock on Aja Wilson. Joel Embiid's unbelievable. And you can argue that Joel Embiid, at a peak for peak, healthy, was better than peak Tim Duncan. But like, if he doesn't have a weakness in her game, she scores from everywhere. She shoots from everywhere. She shoots free throws. She doesn't, she's rebounds well. She's a lockdown defender. She can guard all 5 positions. She literally doesn't have a flaw in her game. Aja Wilson's more dominant. She's absolutely more dominant. But Fee's been better this season. She has. Yes, Aja Wilson has had a historic 15 games. But that 15 games started after they lost by 53 points. They lost 3 times to the Lynx. None of those 3 were close. They got killed 3 times by the Lynx. They got killed. I'm pretty sure they got killed by the Storm by 20 early in the year. Like, the Aces got killed by 30 to the Fever. The Fever beat them by 30. Like, how are we giving an MVP to a player who has been on the losing end by 30 plus points like 4 or 5 times this year? They got killed. We are literally giving an MVP based on 15 games. 15 games where the actual MVP, who had already cemented the 1 seed, who had cemented everything, was just chilling. And making sure they were right for the playoffs. And it's one thing if you want to give Aja the MVP this year and you want to say, oh, well, Phee wasn't great in that spell. So we're not going to, she shouldn't be rewarded, for not being great. But it's then, like, Phee was the best player in the world for majority of last season. Phee and Kate, like, if you take, for the last 20 games of last season, Phee and Caitlin were the 2 best players for the second half of last season. And Aja fucking won it unanimously. She won it unanimously. Her team went from going like 34-6 to being the 5th seed until 2 games to go because they went on a run of 5 games at the end of the year. All right, whatever. It was 7 games. Might have been more, to be honest. But they went on a run at the end of the year that took them from the 5th seed, from winning 34 games a year, 34 and 6 the year before. And she fucking won it unanimously. Unanimous. Fee's going to get robbed. Fee's going to get robbed. And I bought into the narrative, man. I literally was like, you know what? Maybe I go for Asia. Maybe I go for Asia. And that's the thing. Recency bias is so big. Recency bias is so big. And, but it was the opposite. Last year, the narrative prevailed because you would have been considered every name under the sun if you didn't vote for Asia. If you didn't vote for Asia and Asia didn't win unanimously, they all would have cried on Twitter. But like, this year, Phee, in my opinion, was better than Asia was last year. Like, Asia literally was negative in the on-offs last year. Like, I think Phee this year was better than Asia was last year. And I think Phee last year was better than Asia was this year. Like, she got robbed of a finals MVP because the referees rigged the game. She's going to get robbed of an MVP this year. She got robbed of at least some MVP votes because of narrative. But the narrative for the year had been Phee, the preseason narrative. And the preseason narrative is the reason why Phee did not even get a vote for MVP last year. But now the preseason narrative doesn't matter because how you end the season is the only thing that matters. But if that mattered last year, Asia finishes 3rd in the MVP voting, but wins it fucking unanimously. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Fee's going to get robbed. Justice for Phee.